In Tianjin, China, the world is witnessing a carefully choreographed display of power and diplomacy. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit 2025 has brought together over 20 leaders, including China's Xi Jinping, Russia's Vladimir Putin, and India's Narendra Modi. A gathering that signals Beijing's ambition to shape a new, multipolar order. Chinese President Xi Jinping used the SCO platform to push his vision of an orderly multipolar world. Without naming the United States or President Donald Trump directly, Xi criticized hegemonism, Cold War mentality, and bullying practices. His message was clear: the global system should not be dictated by a handful of Western powers. In his opening remarks, Xi urged members to seek integration, not decoupling, and stressed that SCO countries must oppose power politics. He framed the organization as a cornerstone of global governance, one that expands the influence of developing nations and reflects the aspirations of the global South. To support this, Xi pledged $280 million in grants and $1.4 billion in loans to SCO member states. He also announced the creation of a SCO Development Bank, a platform for cooperation on new energy, digital economy, green industry, and vocational training. Since its inception, China has invested $84 billion in SCO states and committed to train 10,000 students through its Luban workshops. These moves underscore Beijing's attempt to project stability, opportunity, and inclusivity in contrast to Washington's unpredictability. The SCO's significance has grown since its founding in 2001 by China and Russia. Initially focused on Central Asian security, it now represents a quarter of the global economy and 40% of the world's population. With 27 members including India, Pakistan, Iran, Belarus, and newly joined Laos, the bloc has become a critical vehicle for Beijing's message: global governance should no longer be monopolized by the West. This year's summit holds particular importance because of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's attendance, his first visit to China in 7 years. Relations between India and China had been strained since the deadly border clashes in 2020, but Trump's 50% tariffs on Indian oil imports from Russia have altered New Delhi's calculus. Modi's presence, alongside warm handshakes and trilateral meetings with Xi and Putin, symbolizes India's cautious move toward rebuilding ties with Beijing at a time when Washington appears less reliable. Xi's balancing act with Modi and Putin was deliberate. On Sunday, Modi and Xi held bilateral talks, affirming that cooperation between their 2.8 billion people is essential for growth and development. While Modi stressed that peace and tranquility at the border remain crucial, Xi downplayed past tensions, saying disputes should not define the overall relationship. Their joint optics, handshakes, smiles, and trilateral camaraderie with Putin were designed to showcase China as a mediator and partner, not a rival. For Putin, the SCO summit provided a stage to reject Western narratives about Ukraine. He reiterated that the conflict was the result of a Western-backed coup, not Russian aggression. At the same time, he praised China and India's efforts at dialogue and described his Alaska meeting with Trump as opening the door to peace. Though Western sanctions attempt to isolate Moscow, Putin's visible closeness with Xi and Modi underscored Russia's resilience and China's willingness to give it diplomatic cover. The SCO's scope is expanding far beyond security. Xi unveiled a new global governance initiative following his earlier global security, development, and civilization initiatives. This ambitious framework aims to reshape international institutions by amplifying the voice of developing countries, offering an alternative to Western-led structures such as NATO or the G7. China also used the summit to highlight its role as a responsible innovator. Xi called for deepening cooperation in artificial intelligence, digital economy, and green technology. With the SCO development plan stretching through 2035, Beijing is embedding itself as the architect of long-term growth for a vast swath of Eurasia. While divisions among SCO members remain, from India-Pakistan rivalry to differing stances on Ukraine, the summit's value lies in optics and symbolism. Leaders like Iran's Masoud Pezeshkian and Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan seized the chance to show they are not isolated. For Beijing, the gathering demonstrated its ability to convene and lead a diverse coalition that spans from East Asia to the Middle East. Even beyond the summit halls, the message resonated. A massive military parade in Beijing to commemorate the 80th anniversary of World War II victory will feature Putin, Xi, and North Korea's Kim Jong-un standing shoulder to shoulder. A reminder of China's growing influence as a hub of global power realignment. The SCO Summit 2025 in Tianjin may not deliver dramatic breakthroughs, but it marks a pivotal moment in Beijing's quest to present itself as an alternate world leader. By combining financial incentives, diplomatic stagecraft, and a unifying message of multipolarity, China is positioning the SCO not as an anti-US bloc, but as the blueprint for a new era of shared global governance.